Record. And we're live. All right. And scene. All right. So the biggest topic that you and I discussed when we were talking about doing this for a second time was the use of social media by belly dancers, where it propagates perhaps an inappropriate or misguided image of our art form. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, is the misuse for social media or Facebook, whatever, you use that for your own advertisement or for your business. And when you advertise for your business, you have to be careful. You have to be careful because you don't want to be putting bikinis and undergarment and all these things, whatever. This is your private life. This it should not be shared with anybody else. That's between you, your partner, and that's about it. Not for the whole world to see it. And I don't know what's happening with the coronavirus. I see a lot of crazy stuff and people almost not wearing anything and doing crazy stuff, whatever. But that's not good. It's not good for the business. It's not good for you. If you have a daytime job, it's gonna come back and haunt you. If you have office job, you have a nurse, a doctor, lawyers, because we have, all of us. We're not just, in my class, you'll have the lawyers, you have the paralegal, you have the nurses, you have the doctors, you have the housewife, you have the teachers, you name it. You have so many variety of people. You have to be careful because it will come and haunt you. Anything that's happening to us right now is been recorded. If you're in the supermarket, somebody's watching us. If you're in traffic, God knows somebody's watching us. If you're on a plane, somebody's recording. If you're on a bus stop, anywhere, on a train, somebody's got camera somewhere. So just be on your best behavior and use the social media for advertise yourself in a professional and a nice manner. Keep your private life on the side. No one need to know anything about you.
So I've seen this conversation come up several times, whether it's in Facebook forums or in workshops regarding, a lot of people complain about the skimpy costumes. Other people say it doesn't really matter. That's just the way that it's going. Do you feel that this trend towards kind of modeling photographs or perhaps over-sexualizing the art form is because of a pressure to try to boost your career? Is it falling into, if I don't do this, maybe I won't be as successful?
Well, if you a striptease performer, then that's fine. But you're not. This is Middle Eastern dance. And when you start, everybody, all of you seen things online, and I don't have to tell you what you've seen because I saw the same thing. And what's happening is crazy. It has nothing to do with the dance. So we're going further and further every day from Middle Eastern dance. And I don't like to call it belly dance because belly dance way back in 1800, the dancer used to just stand there and do everything with the belly and nothing. There was no other movement, just moving her belly. And later on, when Tahia Carioca and all that, whatever, became a dance. And a little bit before that. So God bless, bless Bobby Farah. He had Near East dance troupe. And we had discussion at that time, in 1978, 79, and it's Middle Eastern dance. Raqs al-Sharqi. Yeah, I mean, you cannot translate it any other way. You know, if you say American ballroom, that's it. You cannot say something else, you know, American hot dog. No, it's American ballroom. So there's no other translation. So don't just call it whatever. That's it.
Well, that also leads into that kind of time-old conversation that I feel like I've heard as a student, a teacher, a performer, everything, where you know, there's always this push to say, we're not the same as strippers, we're not the same as burlesque. And then there's another side of this that says, you know, hey, this is an artistic art form. You know, we should be able to do whatever we like with our bodies and not be shamed with it. Where there is this kind of dichotomy between our own community of, is this the same as body shaming to say that we shouldn't be over-sexualizing the dance? What are your thoughts on that conversation?
Well, I mean, if there is no rules to the dance and anything goes, and we're gonna sexualize, you know, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, then don't call it Middle Eastern dance. Just don't call it like that. Call it a different name. And somebody said to me a couple of days ago, they said that the costume, it gets skimpier and skimpier and skimpier. I'm like, I can't control that, you know? And if you are a jazz dancer, you are a jazz dancer. We cannot call you any other way. If you a modern dancer, you are modern dancer. Ballroom, same. Ballet, same.
Absolutely.
But when you put that costume, belly dance, and you call yourself belly dance, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody was complaining about this dancer that she's, you know, she's advertised herself belly dancer. She's not. The girl is not. And, you know, just, she was wearing almost nothing. And the stuff that she was doing is not even good stripping. It was just bad. You know, it's like she has no talent of anything. So, and you call it Middle Eastern, whatever, it's not fair. It's not fair.
So to counter that, would you say, a lot of people I've heard say like, well, any attention is good attention. Would you feel that?
No.
Well,
yeah, if I go outside now and I go to the supermarket, which is 3 minutes away from here, and shoot 100 people, and I get attention, is that a good thing? Or just go and hit people with my car? Whatever. I create havoc, chaos, but that's not a good tension, or that's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a no.
Right.
Maybe in the old days when you make you know, things with you know, some of the news, whatever, but now everything is on the open. Everything is on the open right now. Anything. Yeah, you want sushi at 4 o'clock in the morning, you could get that. You want to fly, book your flight at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you fly the same morning. I mean, everything's available right now. So we don't need to cause something to become famous or any, no, please, no.
Well, that kind of leads me to another conversation I've heard quite often, and I've actually asked quite a few people myself, which is the prevailing style or aesthetic that has come out of the competition scene? I feel like it's kind of declining now that COVID has happened and everything is kind of changing a little bit. But for a good while there, it seemed like the competitions were dominating the trends in the belly dance, Middle Eastern dance world, where you had to really learn how to dance a certain style if you wanted to be successful in them. And to be successful in them meant that you gained notoriety, which meant that you were being invited to teach at festivals, which is how you started your career. Would you say that that is the root cause of some of this change that we're seeing, or would you say that it's something else, or what are your thoughts on how that has transpired?
Well, the problem happens before that. It's not just the competition. Well, competition, when you sit with the competition, for example, in ballet, we have a sheet that the judge looks at it, and number one, number two, number three. Same thing in ballroom dancing. How well the couple dancing together, what's their timing, if they connect, if they're dancing on the beat. There is so many things that the judge has to go through and looks at it and score the couples on the dance floor. In belly dance, what are you looking for? That's the question, the $1 million question. What are you looking for? Not necessarily because you're beautiful, you're tall, you're skinny, that you should win. But some of the girls that dance, they, full figure, and they could dance 10,000 skinny girls under the table, and vice versa. So the body, the image, and the hair, the makeup, that should not influence all that. The best thing, I said it before, with competition, and I said it many, many times, teachers that teach the workshop for that weekend should not be judging. Like in ballroom, I was part of the Virginia State Dance Sport co-organizer, and I'm not allowed to judge nor dance. So if the belly dance, do you want to keep it like that? So let's say if you have 6 teachers teaching, let them teach only, and let the judge come in from outside. That night.
Where would you rather be?
So can you explain that a little bit further, actually? Because I've never done any other sort of dance. I'm purely Middle Eastern. And I feel like every competition, every festival, the teachers are the judges. Is there a benefit to having someone come in that's completely, like, has never seen you before kind of idea?
If I don't know you, I'm going to be partial. But I've seen you in the class, and you've been following me for 5, 6, 7, 10 workshops. I'm going to be familiar with you. And to my surprise, I'm going to be looking at you, giving you the first chance. That's how nature is. I'm not pointing fingers to anybody. But that's the reality. If I know you, if I come into a party, Linda, I know Linda. So I'm just going to go toward Linda. Judges should be coming from different area. If you have a competition on the East Coast, bring the judges from West Coast. Don't let them teach. Just come in the same day and let them, and this is, you'll have fair and square. But also, you have to put criteria. How many head roll can you do? And how many turn can you do in one routine? You have a routine 3 minutes. Well, how many freaking shimmy that can you do in 3 minutes? Because if you look at it, it's a shimmy, head roll, shimmy, head roll, shimmy, shimmy, and head roll, and head roll, and shimmy. So what happened to the dance? So
You
there
can
is
go
no
back in the living room if you want.
So if everyone can mute their microphones for me, please, too. I'll try to see if I can mute everybody, but just so we're eliminating background noise. So what you're saying is the competitions in general are just too freeform. Like there's just not a good enough rubric to really.
There is no rules. There is no rules. I went to one of the competition. I'm not gonna say where. And I saw the panel of the judges. Only 2 that I had respect for. The rest I couldn't like. And I refused to judge. I said, I was doing the whole workshop by myself, you know, for the 2 days, 3 days. And I did not continue, you know, I did not judge. And the end, they asked me to help, to come and just sit down and help. I said, no, 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 no. You've done this. And the result was opposite what I saw and what everybody else saw. And that's not fair. That's not fair. Because I know you, then it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Has to be more rules, book for everybody to follow. You must do this, 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 this in all competition. And that's it.
Got a good question in the chat here from Neva. She asks, why do we even need competitions other than to attract workshop participants? Is it perhaps to just to hold one, just to hold one, to get people to come and sign up? And
it's a way of revenue. For ballroom, the same thing. Competition, ballroom competition has been for many, many, many years. It's not happening yesterday or whatever. Belly dance competition came after. But it's never gonna reach the level of ballroom.
Mm.
It's never gonna reach the level of ballet. You know?
That is an interesting point. And you made another interesting point I'd like to come back to. I kind of put a pin in it because we were talking about the competitions. But you did say something very poignant where you said there could be, I think you said 100 skinny girls and someone else could still dance them under the table.
Yeah, like if she's a full figure, you know, because some of the girls, they're like, you know, they're like, oh, I have to be skinny, I have to, no. And what I'm saying is, for each one of us has a preference. Some female, they like the guys that with muscles and this and that, whatever. Some ladies, they like the guy to be tall, 6 foot, dark, whatever. Some ladies, they like the blonde. We all different. So we all have to be different. So has nothing, there is no rule set, okay, well, you have to be skinny in order for you to do the belly dance. You could be, you know, rounded, you know, full figure lady, and you could be 10 times better than all the skinny girls around you. So let's not put out like a label things, you know. It's not correct, and I don't agree with it.
Well, actually, I'm relieved to hear that, because yeah, the labels are a little rough. I'm gonna jump back to Neva's question here. She typed, and I'm gonna add to this, Neva, if you don't mind. What does winning a competition even mean in the greater scheme of things? And I'm actually gonna add to that. What does maybe winning a competition, being popular on social media, getting all of these likes and followers mean for a belly dancer in the greater scheme of things? Is that detracting you from maybe a higher purpose as a dancer?
winning in competition in ballroom, we used to say, winning in competition and 275 will get you on the subway.
Okay, that that's pretty clear. All right.
You know, you the hottest champion. Now I'm talking about ballroom. This year, somebody else will take the title from you the next year. You per se, nobody wants to hire you, you know, and that's in ballroom. In belly dance, I don't know when a competition is gonna get you booked to do wedding. Well, they're gonna look at you, oh, well, she did 4 minutes of amazing job. That's why we're hiring you. It's, I don't know what, if you do it for yourself as a, you know, to you, like you're figuring out, well, you know, I'm gonna dance and I'm gonna do this. I just want to see how I improved. And I'm doing it for myself, not because of anything else. That's fine. Competition is nice. You have a goal, you have time, you're working towards something, and maybe in 4 months I'll be doing this very well.
That's a very excellent point, because of course you do get the feedback and you get the experience, and as we all know, nothing really beats the time on the stage. You have to put in that experience time. I'd like to circle back to the appearance issue. I'm going to speak for myself for a minute, but I've always felt that Middle Eastern dance has had a bit of a body issue or an appearance issue. It feels like when you start as a student, one of the things that brings you to class is we accept everyone, right? All bodies accepted here, all ages. You don't need to be a ballerina, ballet dancer to ballet dance, right? And then as you progress and advance in your studies and you want to be a paid professional, meaning that you're gigging in venues or you begin to get into these showcases, we've seen so many instances online and in real life where weight, age, skin color, gender are coming into play. And of course, there's been so much talk of that recently with the discrimination against people of color in our community. So you did definitely say that should not matter. Where did this really start from, where it did matter? Is this the Americanization of it, the Orientalism, exoticism? I know this is a very broad topic, so I'm kind of like dancing all over the place here. But what is the root cause of that kind of issue?
Well, I'm gonna say something, maybe, I don't know, I'm going a little bit away from what you just asked me, but age, proper costume. So if I'm 20 years old, I'm gonna wear something that is fit me as 20. When I'm 30, yeah, I will be fine. When I'm 40, I'm gonna be fine. When I'm 50, I'm gonna be fine. That's talking about female. But when I'm 60, I would wear proper costume to fit me the way it should be. When I'm 70, wear something that will be proper for my age. So it's the same thing, you know, when the female 16 years old versus 40, you should not be looking like 16 and vice versa. And when you're 20, you should not look like 90 and vice versa. So you could dance till the last breath, and you could be 95, you could be 100, you could be anytime, you could dance. But costuming, you have to be proper to fit the age category. That's one. What other question did you ask? I forgot already.
Yeah, it was a lot. Well, let's get with the weight and the race issues that we've been seeing. You know, of course, we've seen quite a few dancers openly admit that they've been discriminated against based on their body type, based on their skin color. You know, we all know this dance and we love our art form. How would you?
Okay. I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Go ahead.
There is, discrimination everywhere. Let's not, go around the bush and say no, it does not exist. It exists in everything. It exists in dancing, exists in music, exists in the opera, exists, you name it. Okay? It's not easy for, a lot of people because of the body, whatever. And that's what I'm saying. There's some of the girls that the full figure, they could dance 10 people under the table. And they beautiful dancers. But the owner wants to certain, whatever, skin color, all that, whatever. This is happening. It's not, we're not gonna say, no, it's not. It does. So how can we fix that? I have no answer. But it does exist. Because I'll be lying to say it does not exist. Just the fact my name is Ahmed Hussien, it causes problem to my kids. So I'm just gonna leave it up to that point,
Absolutely. So what would you advise to dancers or anyone that's looking to gig professionally or further their career, or just wants to continue in this art form if they are feeling like they're being discriminated against, or they are of the, how do I want to say this sensitively? They're of the type of dancer that maybe doesn't want to put themselves in situations that are detrimental to the career, but they do want to succeed. If you're not that type that a venue owner wants, what is your next step?
I would create my own event. I would create my own event in places where they support me and boycott the people that don't support me. And that's fair.
All right. Circling back to the competition topic, Alia did ask, and this does kind of fit in what we were just talking about, what criteria do you think would be appropriate for a Middle Eastern dance competition? And I'm going to add to that, what kind of categories do you think would be appropriate? Because I have seen some that categorize by male and female dancers, as well as age groups.
Well, age group, it should be limited, because you cannot have someone who's 18 years old competing with somebody's like 50. I'm not saying that 50 is old, but it's not. In ballroom dancing, we have, junior, we have lady A, lady B, C, and D, and E, and F, and, all, but different age. So make it like that, age category. Second, is it what kind of style that you're doing? And you have to put rule for the style. Now, limit how many head roll, because it's like, sometimes I feel like are you convulsing, or is there something wrong with, are you okay? Is you fine? No problem? Should I call a doctor here for, so it should be limited. How many shimmy in one routine? How many? Because it's just go on Facebook and see the Facebook feed, news feed, and you see all these dancers, one after the other. Everybody looks the same. Shimmy. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, if I see one more shimmy, I'm going to kill myself.
Well, you're in the
So,
wrong art form, I think. It's
I
going to
know.
be short. Your time is up. I'm kidding. So in your dream, well, I'm kind of kidding, but in your dream world, right? If you were to fantasize your own competition, what would your judging rubric be?
I would say, keep your feet on the ground, enough of the kicking, limit your turn, right? Limit your shimmy, limit your head, and let's just go back to the good stuff, the good basic whatever. I said it before. I said in 88, we had Ida Noor in Egypt. 88, 90, 92, whatever. I think Ida Noor, in my eyes and my opinion, she was the last one that danced, just dance. After that, God knows what's happening. So.
Neva made a really good remark just now. And by the way, guys, like, feel free to type. We are going to open it up so everyone can unmute themselves here in a little bit, but feel free to type to me. I've got the chat up. I'm like the moderator, the host with the most over here. She did say, watching the YouTube videos, like you said, choose something other than a drum solo to showcase yourself. And I do feel that the drum solo and the Méjancé has definitely become the standard, if you will, in a lot of showcases, simply because maybe people aren't sure what else to choose. What would you recommend to help yourself not look like everyone else, like you said, if you want to stand out, if you want to really be memorable?
Well, look at 1970 Nagwa Fuad, and then the 80s Nagwa Fuad and Suhair Zaki and all that, whatever. What happened to undulation? If you look at any tapes or any news feed, whatever, look how many undulation that's happening in the dance. And you tell me. And this is the core of the dance itself. That's the plie in ballet, undulation. And if you see it, you let me know.
So can I summarize you as saying that we need to put the belly back in belly dance?
Well, the undulation could be side undulation, could be front undulation, you could be, twisting. I mean, there's a lot of form, but it's anything that's happening right now except Middle Eastern dance. Anything. I don't know if it's jazz, if it's aerobics, if martial art involved in there, it's stripping, crazy. I mean, you name it. It's all cocktail. And good luck with that.
Shiny. So
I'm mean. I'm very mean.
No. That's why we're here. I'm just here to moderate and be the devil's advocate to you and poke.
Yeah.
Vote
for me. I'm the president. Vote for me.
But vote for Ahmed 2020.
I'm the president.
Yeah.
Free dance lesson for everybody.
Well, that's got my vote right then and there. You're supposed to enter the primaries, but I'm sure we could figure out something.
So can we get some questions from unmute everybody and see what who wants to ask?
I think you're right. It's about that time. Everybody, you can choose to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask whatever you like. You can stay on these topics or stay off of it. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, just state your name, where you're from, and just say the question.
Ahmed, I don't necessarily have a question. I just have something that, I come from the same era that you do. So what I would love to see is a return to the folklore. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see us turn the dial back and return to learning the folklore, learning the Falahi, learning Khaliji, learning, you know, all the beautiful folkloric dances that come out of the Middle East and Morocco, and even, you know, Kashlamad from Turkey and Shikat from Morocco. And I would love to see a competition where the dancers are forced to research the dance piece and the proper costuming and the music. That's a competition that I would love to see, because then, you know, we're forced to look back instead of going in the direction that we're going in. I mean, we all know that dance evolves and changes, and our dance has certainly evolved and changed from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s to current day. But I miss Saidi, and I miss Falahi, and I miss all those beautiful things that we did back in the day. And if there was a competition where, you know, let's say you limit to each category, you limit 3 dancers, and 3 dancers have to present this, and 3 dancers have to present that. You're rating them not only on their dance ability, but you're rating them on how much they've researched the history and the dance form and the costuming and all those P's of performance, their presentation. Just my 2 cents. I miss the old days.
I agree with you. Next.
Go on, don't be shy. No judgments here.
Hi, Ahmed. This is
Hi.
Marlene.
Hi.
I know you mentioned earlier you don't ever foresee this getting to the level as, you know, as ballet and ballroom and so forth. So does that mean you never foresee this Middle Eastern dance being performed at maybe an off-Broadway type of thing?
Well, I wish I was on Broadway for.
I know.
Yeah, I was on Broadway. I wish this is on Broadway, whatever. But we have to clean our act before we could do that, and before we could, you know, connect to higher standard.
Right.
You know, and nobody's gonna hire us if we just keep doing, you know, whatever.
Right. If it's not taken to that higher level, it's gonna be really difficult for it to reach the level of being, you know, be able to present a beautiful theatrical presentation, you know, off Broadway and maybe even Broadway one day. But there's hope. But it's true what you say. Yes,
Well,
definitely.
I mean, if there was no hope, I would not be here. I'm hoping.
Definitely. Right. Okay. Yeah,
Wow.
it's.
Anyone else, guys? Come on, anyone? This is your moment. Ask Santa what you want for Christmas. Go ahead.
Well, you could continue.
Hi, Sheldon. I actually have a question that is specifically for you.
Okay.
Male belly dancers. What are your, I mean, you being a male in this art form, have you ever felt out of place? Have you ever felt like this is a woman's art form? Have you ever experienced anything that was jarring?
I mean, we dance in Egypt folklore. But have you ever seen Mahmoud Reda
In videos? Yes.
dancing solo?
Definitely not in a skirt.
Well, yeah. Well, I rest my case.
Okay. So out of curiosity, the costuming, I think what Anna, am I getting that right, brought up was that, Mariana, sorry, was that the costuming does change between all of these different styles, and we are seeing in the, I want to say, cabaret, more traditional style, this trend of much shorter skirts and, you know, more revealing costuming. How do you think that holds up if you want to learn other folkloric dancers, or you want to put other stylings into it? Where do you think the costuming is heading in?
I know what I'm saying. Folklore, we know. You know, like in Egypt, we have 27 provinces. Each province, they have their own costuming, their own outfit, their own male and female. The colors, it's a standard. If you go to Morocco, each region in Morocco, they have their own tribal, their own style of dancing. You go to Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Gulf countries, you know, each region has their own style and costuming.
Mm.
When it comes to belly dance, I see Latin dresses that for ballroom that somehow get transferred into the belly dancer. Look at the first season in Dancing with the Stars, and look at all the dresses, Latin dresses, for the cha-cha, the rumba, you know, samba and all that. Look at all the dresses. And exactly what you see there, this is what became with belly dancers. So there is a lot of copying, but you're copying the wrong thing. It's the same thing with, you know, that lead me to the street shabby. Oh, for God's sake. What's street shabby? Street shabby, that's just it's a bad hip hop of Egyptian boys trying to dance, try to look like Americans, and they fail miserably, and they're doing that, and they call it street shabby. And here, you're just copying that. You're just copying something that is really bad when horrible. And you're saying that's, how can he perform that? He cannot perform that. You know? And if you come into my family's wedding, my nephews or anything, and you see people doing that street shabby, whatever, we will all be dead. Because not every family is gonna tolerate that.
Mm.
You know?
I think that alludes more to, you have to know when it's appropriate to use what when. You know, it's okay to like it.
And you don't copy everything that you know, if somebody does this. I did that in 1981 in Chicago. I did a step and I saw everybody's copying me because I slipped on the stage. I tripped, but I did not say that I tripped because I thought that everybody understood. So after the step was finished, everybody went like this. And I said, oh my God, he's just copying me. So I turned around and I started doing this, scratching my head and scratching. And everybody's like, and they're looking at me like, what is he doing? I said, just copy me, you know? So just to prove a point. Not everything that you see that you need to copy. You know, do your movement, do your steps, and try not to look like somebody else. In the 80s, we had beautiful dancers. They used to dance with live band. We don't tell them what kind of music you're gonna dance. And they come on the stage, they dance. Each one of them looked different than the other.
Mm.
Now it's cookie cutters. You're seeing one, you see them all.
So can we distill that thought into everybody needs to find their own voice and their own means of expression within a certain vocabulary?
Yeah, you're just doing the movement. You don't have to look like the teacher. And I'm not gonna go, but it's like Susie looked like Nancy looks like Kathy looks like Angela looks like, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No. Your Susie should be looking like Susie, and Nancy looks like Nancy. And stop looking on bad things and just copying. And I swear sometimes it's like some people, they send me something, what do you think of this? I'm like, oh, what do I think? Nice shoes, very nice shoes. I don't want to say anything. But I could say, oh, well, very nice. The background is beautiful. It's a beautiful stage. Because I run out of things to say.
Aaliyah, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead.
Who?
Me, Alia.
Okay.
So we kind of talked a lot about standards in ballroom and standards in ballet, and we really don't seem to have any standards in Oriental dance. But what I'm curious about from your perspective is, what are the things about Oriental dance that make it unique and special? Because it is so different from ballet and ballroom and all of those more Western art forms. And in your perspective, what are those things that make it unique and special, that make it available for the individuality of the dancers?
What makes it special?
Yeah, what are the qualities of Oriental dance that are different and special from these other art forms, which is what people are trained in and what they're layering on top of Oriental dance, it seems to me. So what are these special, unique qualities of Oriental dance that we should instead be looking to prioritize?
One thing that I'm going to say, there's a big difference between sensuous and sexual. Sensual and sexual. We don't want to go there, but we want to be sensual. We want to be elegant. We want to be earthy. At the same time, we want to be soft. We want to be happy. We want to be doing very emotional movement. And you have to relate to your, and also you have to listen to the music and dance to the music. In ballroom dancing, we always say you have to dance behind the music. When you dance behind the music, it shows how much control. The same thing with the singer. When the singer goes on and catch the next phrase of the music into, or skip and come back. So in dancing, what happened to the syncopation? What happened into the whole? What happened? It is so fast from the get-go. And sometimes I see the, competition. The dancer, they come in from the stage, then from the wing, dancing. From the wing. I mean, give yourself a chance to come to the stage, come to the middle of the stage, whatever. Introduce yourself and start dancing. You have 3 minutes. You could show me a lot in 3 minutes. You have 4 minutes. You could show me a lot. You don't have to be dancing from the wing. From the wing, you start kicking. Oh my, just relax. And you could make all your argument on the stage. You do your own movement. You're so elegant. You're so sensuous, not sexy. Sensuous. And add all the movement. I don't see any movement. All I see is just zillion things in 8 beat. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell is that. I mean, I'm losing it. So that's my opinion.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions. Hey, Ahmed, this is Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good. I have 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, What are some of your favorite resources when you're trying to research a topic? Any sort of research. What's some of your favorite fountains and places to go to?
What kind of topic?
Middle Eastern dance.
I don't.
What are some great sources that you would recommend to dancers wanting to learn more? What are some of your favorites?
Look back on Tahia Carioca. Look at Samia Gamal. Look at all these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's your source. Look at Aida Noor.
Yeah.
You know, look how these people, what they did. You know, and that was true dancing. That's what I'm saying. After Aida Noor, I'm sorry, I don't.
Looking back, for sure, it's amazing. Question 2.
Sure.
Why, and I've been asking this in a lot of these that I've been going to, but why do you love dance? What's your reason to dance?
I was saying something like that yesterday. Somebody was talking to me. I said, dancing, if you're sad and you dance and you already feel better. And if you're happy and you dance, you feel better. And if you like really not happy, not sad, you're content and you dance, you feel better. So dance, it's good for any time, for many, many reasons. And it just makes you feel good all the time when you dance. And why do I dance? Because I want to feel good.
I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I think we got time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. If anyone would like to sneak that in before we conclude for the evening.
So I have a request for Santa. If Ahmed is Santa,
Okay.
I have a request. Ahmed, let's do folklore. Let's do folklore.
Yeah, that's no problem.
That's my request. Let's take it back.
No problem.
I think that would be awesome.
And that's, I said last time, and I had a Q&A with Colombia a couple of weeks ago, and I said, guys, you have a free library. Go back to 1958, Mahmoud Reda, how he started, and all the valuable movement and the revolution that he did. Because without Mahmoud Reda, I would not be here, and none of us will be here. You know, he's the one that took everything from the village, and it's rough, and he took it to the stage. Was nothing like that before him. And I told that to Mahmoud Reda 3 years ago. I said to him, there will nobody before you, and there's nobody will come after you. And he was like, you know, but that's the truth. So if we all just look, I mean, if you have the time to look for bad dancing and seeing crazy stuff that's happening, do your study, do your 10 minutes, half an hour, you know, look for Mahmoud Reda, what he did. The library is so huge. How many shows, how many operette, how many dances he did. I mean, you just look at the Nubian dance, when he did it in the beginning, when he did it in the 70s, and when he revived it in the 80s. Look at the cane dance, how many cane dances Mahmoud Reda did. And look at it, how did he start? And look at it in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. And later on, Ihab, my cousin, did a beautiful cane, but it's also coming from Mahmoud. So look at all this, it's free. and it's part of your education. Don't look for bad examples and look at it. Try not to.
Well, 1958 was a wonderful year, Ahmed, because that's the year I was born.
Ah,
So there you go.
I'm not gonna say anything.
That was a good year.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Okay, then.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so very much again, Ahmed, for being
welcome.
here, being with us, and for answering our questions and having these talks with us.
Absolutely.
Looking to do this probably once a month with Ahmed. And of course, I'm always looking to talk to other dancers as well. So if you know someone, your teacher, a friend, yourself, I would like to talk to you. Let's have these conversations more often, shall we? And thank you so much again for supporting Fanoos Magazine and for all of your time. Have a wonderful evening, and you know where to find us. So thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
thank
Good
you,
night.
Ahmed. Thank you,
You're
Oriana.
welcome.
Good night, Master.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.